maybe we'll think about it. We're going to table that. We won't ask you your hardest class, Blake, in college today. We're going to table that maybe next time. But we've had unbelievable answers to Packers' traditional question today, in addition to just great student athletes. And as Mark always says, it's not that we don't enjoy talking to ADs and other administrators and folks in college athletics, but the student athletes, as you know, that's the premium for which this whole thing operates, and they've been sensational for us today. And you got great ones as well.
No, we're all blessed. It's a great conference, and obviously it's representative of the students we have putting on all of our logos and going out and competing and doing the great things they do academically. And I definitely understand the desire to talk with the students over the ADs and the administrators. But I am going to take that softball question you threw out there. I think it was Business Law 415 was the one that really gave me a good lesson. So that'll be the one I'll throw out there.
Ooh. But you've applied it well, even though I must tell you, a little disappointed given the fact that we've seen you with palm trees in the backdrop. We've seen you in the Northeast Coast. And now you come, I guess you said, hey, it's time to use the on-campus studio, which every school has forked a nice piece of change to do state-of-the-art. So I see that we've now come full circle with our interviews with you.
I know I'm a little disappointed that I only have the typical background here that you get from so many. I'll try to make my next one a little more exciting.
I tell you what, though, speaking of exciting, nothing could have been crazier than the state of Florida with the name, image, and likeness legislature last week, where it was a fake left, go right, it's on, it's off, we're pushing it back, but now we've kind of got it back on track. How would you describe your emotions given that last week? Because it was all over the map.
What got me completely by surprise. Again, I thought it was something that obviously was done and in place. We had the governor here in June of 2020 signing the bill into law. Our students were excited for it. Our administration was preparing for it. Obviously, it's the right thing to do. And so to all of a sudden have that curveball come late Wednesday night, and honestly, I don't think I was aware of it until Friday or Thursday morning. And again, credit to the government relations team at the University of Miami. I know they were working with some other schools in the state, and obviously appreciate our representatives there in Tallahassee pivoting back and getting it right for our students.
Blake, I know you went to social media after the resolution was finally corrected, at least in the way that we had looked at it before and beginning on July 1. You said Florida positioned once again to take the lead on NIL legislation as a fix now heads to the governor. Our student athletes were heard, and big thanks to Miami for carrying it across the finish line. Your school, as a private institution, has been at the forefront of this. What have you seen? And how many of your colleagues have touched base with you about what they're going to get into when their respective states move forward on a law?
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversation nationally and obviously here in our state. Again, I credit our representatives in Tallahassee for, I think, really doing a good job of creating an opportunity for our young people to be able to monetize their name, image, and likeness, while at the same time putting some guardrails in place that I think really protect an institution in intercollegiate athletics that has had such a tremendous impact on so many hundreds of thousands of kids when you look at it, not only here from our state and our country, but from around the world that come to the United States to compete in the sport that they love while earning a degree at a higher institution of higher education that really sets them up for life. And so, we're excited to be able to go forward. I think there's a lot of excitement around the country. I know with each passing day, it seems like other states are addressing it. You have a lot of conversation going on in Washington, D.C. Like so many in my position, I'm a believer that we have to have one standard, and I'm sure that will come. But until that point, we're going to continue to prepare with the Florida law. And if the Florida law is the one that became the one standard, I think it would be a win for students, and I think it would be a win for college athletics.
Yep, yeah, I agree with that. Let's talk about your sports. Yesterday, the NCAA announced both the men's and women's tennis tournament. Miami is in both. Wes and I keep bragging about how great the spring sports, the Olympic sports have been in this league. And at the University of Miami, that is certainly not an exclusion because you guys have really had great success.
Yeah, we really had a great spring. And again, it was exciting yesterday for both our men's and women's tennis programs. Our women, 25 straight. Paige Yarshik, too, is our head coach there, is just such a done such a great job on really establishing a standard of what Miami women's tennis is going to look like. And then Alosha, who's come in with our men's tennis and just has really done a tremendous job in turning it around. And again, you talk about how strong the league is. I don't remember exactly what our record is in league, but I know it's not a winning record. But it's great to see that the rest of the country recognizes how strong the tennis programs are in the league. That we're able to go just under 500 in the league and have the opportunity to compete amongst the best. And we've earned that given the level of competition in the league. It's just it's so tough.
Blake, you mentioned these sports, and look, we all understand football, basketball; those are the kind of the headliners, and then certainly baseball has had a great tradition in this league. But we're starting to see sports, and Mark and I have witnessed it with lacrosse, and that's a sport I know that you don't have at the University of Miami. But the value of a sport and building that sport, whether it's something that's as popular as football or basketball to like a tennis program that can have great stars but maybe don't get the notoriety. How much pride and satisfaction goes into seeing that happen from your chair?
Oh, a ton of pride. Again, each one of our individual student athletes, we have over 400 here at the University of Miami, come to the university to get a degree, but with a passion for a sport that they love, and they want to win championships, whether that's in football or women's golf or men's basketball or women's soccer, on down the line of our 18 sport offerings. Each one of those young people come here and really have a desire and a passion to be the very best. And so to be a part of that experience and see them having success, really that's what makes the job all the more exciting. Again, when you look at I think one of the big differences between professional athletics and collegiate athletics is we have such a broad spectrum of offerings. And I think that's part of what makes, for me, the job so much more fulfilling than if I was working just with one team. You have, here at Miami, we have 18 different teams. And I know there's schools in the league that have, a far greater number than that. And it's just something that I view as very rewarding, and glad to be able to be a little part of that experience and really supporting them and being the very best they can be.
Blake, I know there's a huge anticipation, as it always is, for college football. And with De'Ara King back and a number of pieces back, there's a lot of folks whispering about Miami and the U. What can you tell us as far as the fan experience expectations for this fall? Because every time I hear an AD go, hey, we're good to go, or we're close, or we're moving in this direction, I think everybody's kind of just got this anticipation that, hey, we've reached the finish line, let's go, even though we haven't. And there's still protocols and things you still have to do to get to August, September, October. So where are you right now, big picture, as far as Miami football this fall with the fans?
Well, the first thing I know is we're in a much better place on May 4th of 2021 than we were on May 4th of 2020. And so having gone through what we went through last year, and again, we have the benefit of Hard Rock Stadium and the Dolphins, who do so much research and so much investment in creating experience. Last year, we were able to have all of our home games there. We didn't have any issues at the stadium. And again, credit to the great job the Dolphins and Hard Rock Stadium do, and our staff, obviously, putting those protocols in place. Our fans follow those protocols. My hope and plan is that we're able to have a full capacity, or the ability to have full capacity. But as we all learned last year, we'll pivot and do the things that we need to do. But I'm confident we'll have football playing there. And as we sit here today, I believe that we'll have the ability to have a full house. With that said, as you touched on, we're not through the pandemic yet. We need people to continue to do the things they need to do, whether that's getting vaccinated or following the direction from the local government. Those are things that we're going to do. But we're looking forward to one opening in Atlanta, September 4th against Alabama, and then coming back home here against Appalachian State, September 11th.
Yeah, well, no, you've got the schedule. There's no doubt. I know that, by the way, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta announced they lifted the restriction to 100%. So starting, I think, in early June, they're going to go to 100%. Blake, that's got to be great for your fan base for opening night against Alabama, right?
We're excited. Looking forward to having that game. Obviously, you have one of the most successful programs of all time, and when you look over the last decade, I don't think anyone can argue against what Nick Saban and the Alabama team have done. And so, it's a situation where we have an opportunity to go out and play against one of the very best, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I guarantee you, everybody will be talking about that, is for sure. I want to get to baseball real quick. Great tradition, great history. And let's be honest, at times your baseball program has looked out of sight, whether they're sweeping Clemson or somebody else. And then there's been moments where you go, man, what's going on? Again, much like a lot of teams, there's some highs, some lows. It's a baseball season. That's the way it goes. But how would you categorize Miami baseball right now as we head down the stretch here in May?
Just inconsistent, and part of it is you touched on it earlier with so many of our programs. The league is just so tough, and we added 2 more series in where you're playing ACC opponents, and it's just tough. Anyone can beat anyone in baseball on any given day, and it happens. And I think we've just been a little inconsistent with some of timely hitting to hitting just in general to our pitching, and as you touched on, one weekend we're sweeping Clemson, and next weekend we're having. We're losing, 2 out of 3, and that happens. Part of that's ACC baseball. I do think we're probably a stronger team than where we're at, but we need to be a little more consistent in order to achieve the success I think we're hoping for at the start of the season.
Blake, I know the baseball coaches went to the extra series, if you will, cut down on the midweek games, but yet I also recognize Miami as a program that has a lot of midweek opponents and a lot of attractive midweek opponents. Is there a happy medium there in baseball? We go back to what I would call the normal structure of the schedule. Do you see any changes taking place with the way the scheduling has gone? And in all honesty, I'll tell you, I like the extra conference series. I think it's been good for the league. It's been a lot tougher, but I think it'll make the league better maybe once we get to postseason.
I think it'd be interesting to see how the evaluation goes this year postseason, because my only hesitation is we're losing half the games we play against each other. Just reality is eventually in a baseball game, one team's going to lose. And if we're playing more ACC games, we're going to go 500. Only one of the 2 teams is winning. I like the fact that we have non-conference games where we can go out and play. Again, for us, we opened the season in Gainesville against the University of Florida, a great SEC opponent. We take 2 out of 3 games. That's good for the league. Midweek we're playing Florida Gulf Coast. We're playing, FIU, FAU. I think all those wins are good for the league, and I think that is reflective across the league. So I understand the desire for more league competition. I think it's really important for us as strong baseball programs, and that's where our league is, that we schedule strong non-conference competition. But I do think a non-conference component to our schedule, and again, I don't know the exact number, but I do think a non-conference component is critical to really ensure that we get as many deserving ACC teams in the postseason as possible. Because if we're all going just in conference, or we significantly cut down the non-conference, I don't think we're going to get the credit nationally for really how good ACC baseball is.
Blake, I'm curious, what kind of feedback are you getting from your coaches regarding the transfer portal?
I think it's still an unknown, and obviously in some sports it's always been there. I think when you look at football, I think Coach Diaz has really done a great job of managing it. It's the continued evolution of what it looks like to be or what college athletics looks like and what it means to be a student athlete, and so it's something that we have to all recognize. It's part of what's going to be there going forward. I hope that there's really a lot of thought that's put into transferring because, as we all know, there's tough days on any job, and part of our job as administrators and leaders and coaches here is to really prepare our people not only for what comes next in sports, but more importantly, what comes next in life. And you both know there's times where you have difficult bosses or bosses that maybe don't treat you the way that you feel you should be treated and those things. And so I'm all for kids being able to transfer. I just hope that there's really thought put into why they're transferring, and it's not a knee-jerk reaction, for lack of a better term, based on they didn't get enough shots or they didn't get enough playing time or those types of things. Because again, as we all know, and there's bigger things in life, and one of the great things about sports for so long is I think it really prepares young people for the challenges and competition that you need to be successful in life.
Yeah, good point there. Hey, I know the commissioner has been doing his listening tour, and you told us before we came back on the air, you were the first stop. So how was Jim Phillips' first visit to Coral Gables as the new boss? It
was outstanding. Jim is just a genuine He's a winner. You guys know. You guys have spoken to him, and for him to take the time to travel to each one of our institutions just shows the type of person he is. Our student athletes were thrilled to be able to meet him, get time talking with him. Our coaches that maybe always don't get that type of attention, we're thrilled to get time with him and be able to share thoughts and ask questions. And again, just real credit to Commissioner Phillips for taking time out of his schedule when he's got so many things going on. To spend a day on each campus just tells you a lot about who he is and really how bright the future of our conference is under his leadership.
Blake, is there any doubt whatsoever that the new commissioner, who's coming from right outside Chicago, took inventory of the ACC and said, I'm going to do a listening tour. My first stop, let me think. I'm going to Coral Gables. Was there any doubt that you were going to be number one on that list? Yeah. Any doubt?
No, obviously, I have a bias, but I was trying to convince him we should have a satellite office here in Miami for him during the winter months. So I'm not sure he went for that one, but had he made those trips in February, maybe he would have been a little more inclined to think about a satellite office in Miami.
I tell you what, if we do a better job on ACC Network, maybe he can afford to have that satellite office down there at Coral Gables, right? It's really the burden's on us to get that job done. That's up to us.
We'll have the Packer and Durham show go right out of South Beach for the month of January and February.
Let me tell you something. Let's do it during the baseball season so I can get some of those shakes. I want to get some of those shakes at the ballpark. Yeah. We're going to have a baseball season going on.
Blake, can you believe?
There we go.
Blake, I got to tell you this. Packer has only heard, I've been down there for basketball. I've had a shake. I was there years ago for baseball. I had a shake. Packer has asked Alex Torrell, he's asked everybody who's come on here about the shake, and I've told him it delivers now.
We got to get him down here and get a shake, or I got to figure out a way to FedEx you a shake and not have it turn into milk.
No. I'm coming. No need to reinvent the wheel here, Blake. I'm coming. We're just going to road trip down there. That's the way to do that deal.
Hey, let me know. Yeah. I'll get the expense report approved through the commissioner's office.
Yeah, people. You get something done.
You're awesome. Hey, thanks as always. Be well, and we look forward to seeing you soon, okay?
Always great to be on with you guys. You guys be well, and I'll make sure the next backdrop is a little more exciting.